So, in your experience, which are the skills which you think which is essential for people who are just starting into digital marketing, or let's say marketing for that sake?
To become a good marketer, I'll say,
Hmm.
I'll always talk whenever we are sitting in the boardroom, or talking about or planning out the marketing things. The one thing I'll always get to hear, and I always say to people as well,
Yeah.
convey your product
Yeah.
or your story in not less than 2 lines.
Which field do you think it's booming when it comes to?
If you are just getting out of the college or doing the graduation in the marketing, or doing some courses in the marketing, the very important thing first, see a broader version of it.
Yeah. What I feel is with a lot of resources, the learning curve is getting like declined day by day, because people, basically, I'm not trying to offend any Gen Z here, but you need to get offended here because the focus is. So hi guys, welcome back to another podcast. Today's podcast, it's going to be a kind of a marketing masterclass because I have Ankit, who is into marketing from last 16 years, a global exposure of 16 years.
Yeah.
You are a techpreneur. And while going through your profile, you told me more about your journey, but I want you to introduce yourself to my audience, a bit about yourself, and then more about marketing later you're going to learn. So yeah.
Right. Thank you, Vikrant, first of all, having me in your podcast. And about me, reaching here, like it's just more than 16 years of journey so far. I actually started my first startup back in 2008. I was around 18 that time.
Yeah.
And that was more around, that was a very small startup. In fact, that's a time when the culture of the startup was not there. It's not exactly in the tech, but more around the marketing. But from that point itself, I started getting some exposure around the business while doing my graduation itself. That's time. And thereafter, I entered in the business world back in 2015, actually, when I started my first startup with an influencer beans. So it is a tech company where we'll create a lot of bespoke softwares, but around the Microsoft technologies. That's how actually I started. But thereafter, I'll keep on moving and keep on adding the technologies. Then I built a product with the name Iguana Data with one of my co-founder back in Australia. It was all around trading and analytics around the trading for the energy market, which we already exited back in 2021. And then had exposure working in Australia, mostly North America, and now from the last 4 years I'm working here in UK, running another company. It's altogether very different than my previous experience. All like previous experience I had around the B2B, but now this is this is B2C and a very different kind of journey. I actually onboarded the 2 years back, and now here we are.
A different landscape for you.
Exactly.
So you arrived in the UK around 4 years ago. What are the key things you find, which are different from Indian market and the UK market? Because I think a lot of people who are watching this podcast, they are in the UK, but they came from India to pursue masters in the digital marketing, or let's say marketing.
Right. So very first thing, cultural differences are huge. And when I first landed in UK, that the same exposure was for me as well. Very, very important thing. You actually took a birth in a country, you grown up there, you know everything in and out of that. And when specifically, because in this podcast we are talking mainly about the marketing, and marketing is actually nothing but expanding the words or exploring around using the culture. The culture is very important. And unless you don't understand the culture of the region, or don't understand your audience, target audience, till that time you can't do anything. So coming back to the question, the differences, the huge differences, obviously the cultural differences we already know, and most of the audience watching this, they already have exposed to that. The language difference, accent difference, every single thing matters a lot. Way of doing a business. Back in India, I was running a tech company, or even when I was running Iguana Data, which is the product, by the way, but it was for the Australian company, but it's a B2B tech product. You are not actually exposed to people in general. You were exposed to the businesses. Then when you are dealing with the businesses, it doesn't matter how you talk. do matter how you talk, but in the sense it doesn't matter much how what cultural background you are coming from, because they are interested more in your skills, more in your product than yourself. But as I landed here, first thing, the first cultural setback for me was the accent. Understanding the people. These are the people who are my target audience. I need to sell something to these people. These are, and most important thing, these are Gen Zs. And when you are selling something to Gen Z, you need to think like them. You need to be a Gen Z. You need to understand what their likings are. So be in their shoes for some time to understand. Exactly. And so the differences are so many, but the key important things are, as you land in this country, first thing, start understanding them, then what you actually have learned back in your India. The reason is not leaving your culture behind, but as we are talking about marketing, or as we are talking about getting used to this culture or acclimate to this environment, you need to understand them as well. And it's our even if you go a couple of steps back, so it was our wish to come to this country, right? So if you are coming to any country, now I'm not speaking about just the UK. If you are going to any country, it's our wish, or it's your wish where you want to go. It's your dream. That means you have to leave few things behind. And you have to learn many new things of that culture. Otherwise, there is just relocating. I'm sure relocating is not the dream of me, not a purpose for most of us. The purpose is to live the life of that country. For that, you should learn culture of that country. Not to very much extent, but at least something you should know how you are. The slangs, the sports, the politics, a little bit of everything. I think. So I mean, it's just like kind of what I felt is like the communication, and we have learned all this thing in marketing, the fundamental communication we have to adopt to the audience kind, and then understanding the market, which is like quite different for me as well. What inspires you to become a marketer? That is the thing which I wanted to understand. So, Vikrant, frankly, I usually don't call myself as a marketer, but I'm an entrepreneur, and though I'm actually a tech entrepreneur, but 5 years back, when you want to start a company, or you'll go to the investors, they used to say, do you really have any tech co-founder with you? That was actually a prime requirement, which is this day as well. But alongside, one very important thing, if you are actually making a two-people company, then I believe there should be one a tech co-founder and other someone have a very in-depth understanding of the marketing. I myself a solopreneur. So that's why it's a compulsion for me to have I'm already coming from the tech background, but it's compulsion for me to understand the market. Understand the nitty-gritties of marketing as well. Unless, otherwise I can't build my brand, I can't sell the things. That's what you need to do. So this is something like when I started Showshul, it's a creator-led shopping platform. So when I started that, that's my first interaction or exposure to B2C or the masses. And I was feeling like, okay, I've been selling the things to the companies, to the brands, to the big companies, big banks, in fact, for the last many years. But here I'm feeling helpless. Even after hiring a couple of people, having a very good name in the marketing, then also I was feeling helpless. And that's the time I decided, all right, I myself have to get depth of the marketing. That was the time. So when you say marketing, and you said that your story as well, that you needed a marketer, right? I mean, of course, anyone can start the company, but to sell the product, you need to understand the marketing, of course, right? Exactly. So how I see the marketing, I don't see the marketing a standalone or the solo division of the company. If you are running a company, every single day you have to sell. Even if you're not selling to your clients or your audience, then also you have to sell every single day. You'll wake up, you'll start selling to your employees. You'll start selling to your investors. You'll start selling to the people who are actually working around you. One way or the other, you are selling something, whether it's a dream or some goal or some targets. Actually, what you are doing, you are selling. And in fact, marketing, this is marketing is all about telling your version of, or your vision or your version of a thing to the other. That's all the marketing. And then there are various verticals within the marketing, whether it's branding or the communication, media buying, all these things. They are there. And when you are solopreneur, and especially when you are actually starting it up, that time it's very important to understand each of these verticals of the marketing. So, in your experience, which are the skills which you think which is essential for people who are just starting into digital marketing, or let's say marketing for that sake? Those who are starting, digital marketing is just marketing is very important. Whether it's offline, online, whatever it is. Key thing is to understand your own product. That's the first thing. We'll come to a technical skills as well. But to become a good marketer, I'll say, I'll always talk whenever we are sitting in the boardroom, or talking about or planning out the marketing things. The one thing I'll always get to hear, and I always say to people as well. Two things you require, just two things. Convey your product or your story in not less than 2 lines. And the second important thing is to give a clear-cut message to the audience. If you can do this, you can be a marketer. That's it. The next, when we'll come to the technical aspects of marketing, what skills anyone should acquire, then obviously you are selling every day. Digital marketing, especially, you are selling every day on social media. So first thing, I think, start becoming a content creator. It doesn't matter if you are doing it for yourself, your brand, or someone else, but writing a content, again, it's connecting back to the messaging, right? Which so is very important, writing a content yourself is very, very key, important thing. Second thing, understanding the different platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. All these platforms actually have a very different use cases. LinkedIn as well, obviously, right? All of these platforms consume the consumers or the audience of these platforms, where you are actually making your brand, or where you are selling, or where you are showing your ads, all these things. The audience are very different. One platform, you may be giving a more of a learning or informative, a lot of value. And on the other, maybe more of a entertainment type of content. Kind of showing a story, and then you eventually have to connect everything back to your brand message. That's the important thing. So understand how you are going to communicate your messaging of your brand. Storytelling and all this content, obviously storytelling, and then eventually how you're going to throw all these stories or the content in the different platform, in what way. So I think it's quite important, especially in today's day and age, to at least share who you are, so that your prospect can understand more about you. Your future employee can understand that, okay, if this guy is doing this thing, showing what he learned, maybe he might be the good prospect. Interesting thing, very, very interesting thing, Vikrant. So, in the past days, if you are a founder, you usually hire the people to do the marketing, right? And audience, people also do understand, all right, this is the face of the brand, but now authenticity is the key. And to throw or to showcase your brand in front of your audience, target audience, how it's going to be more authentic than the founder themselves is actually showing their faces, showing their face, telling the stories. The words about the brand is coming directly from the founder of the company. What gonna be more authentic than this? It's quite essential to do the marketing. I mean, especially the storytelling, and then other thing with the content creation. So when you see the different version of marketing in the Indian market and the UK market, which field do you think it's booming when it comes to
let's say, as a marketer, I've just graduated, in digital marketing. Which field shall I opt? I mean, shall I start applying jobs in every field, or shall I pick any niche or any industry which is growing?
Yeah.
Since you went to SaaS like for many years.
Right. Those who want to get into the job, first thing, how I say it, I when I graduated back in those days, so I do remember one of my mentor, he used to say, start painting with the wider brushes,
Brushes, yeah.
and then slowly start getting into the niche.
Yeah.
So, and it's very important actually. So if you are just getting out of the college or doing the graduation in the marketing, doing some courses in the marketing, the very important thing, first, see a broader version of it.
Yeah.
Go and try everything. Buying the media, or generating a content, SEO, content writing. I think make your videos as well.
Yeah.
That's again a part of the marketing now these days. Try doing everything. And then see what particular niche or what particular area of that of the whole marketing is actually suiting you.
Yeah.
Unless you'll not try everything, you'll not get to know. Now, in fact, if we'll go 2 steps further, so see it like this: I know 10 things in the marketing. I'm kind of an jack of all trades, and now I'm picking up the one because I have tried all the things. Now I know, okay, this is the thing I'm best in. Right? And it's my best. I'll pursue it further. I'll hone my skills around that particular thing, knowing I actually understand all the other areas as well. And the beauty of that, when you're gonna get hired, when you're gonna go for the interviews, it actually open up the space for you as well.
Yeah.
Because you never know what the company is looking for, right? They may be looking for someone who's going to help them in increasing the engagement. Maybe someone is looking for a content creation. Yeah. But if you know everything,
it will be easier.
To get into. Now, marketing, actually, how I'll say the people who are marketers or the people who are working as an employee, as a marketer, these days they come into 2 versions. Content and the technical part of it.
Yeah, apart from content.
Right? Like doing the technical SEO or GA4, for example. Right? Understanding, or if you are working in the e-commerce, then how these APIs, like for example, conversion API is going to interact with it, how you're collecting the data. So there are so many different fields. But I feel like if you know what actually exists there, then you'll be able to make better decisions. If you are making a content and you also know how the algorithms works, you're able to make a better content. If you already know how GA4 collects the data or the Meta collects the data, then you'll able to make your campaigns better. Right?
Optimize, So, like I see, and I met a lot of people, in my university as well, and then people who are getting graduated. They don't have the actual knowledge of digital marketing or let's say marketing, because in college you see people say that in UK you'll get a different exposure, you'll get practical things, but the experience is quite different, and people know that. So whatever you learn in the Indian market about digital marketing, I think you'll learn more of a practical thing, but here you're not going to get that same thing. You learn to prepare all the assignments, which is not useful in the real life. So talking about them, so let's say if they have to start learning the digital marketing or let's say marketing from scratch, so shall they start from learning the basics, that is SEO, CRM, your social media management and marketing, or do we have any pathway to begin?
Interesting, very, very interesting thing. So, education system is very different in India than here, I say. But one thing I like here, apprenticeship. Or the internships. So the beautiful thing, the same thing is actually happening in India as well. Startups are coming. Right? You are in the very first year of your graduation or whatever you are doing, or even if you're learning it in some coaching institutes or wherever you are doing, or you are even if you are a self-learner. In all these cases, the easiest way is to find an internship for yourself. They may not gonna pay you. Maybe. Right? If you'll be lucky, then obviously you'll get some stipend or something. But in 90% cases, you're not going to get paid. But you actually get to know what actually is happening in the industry. right?
Yeah.
Connecting it back to what you are learning in your coaching institute, your self-learning or colleges, you can apply that knowledge or the skills that you are gaining back to that company, and eventually maybe in 6 months or a year time, that company may gonna hire you. Now, this is the best time in India, not in India, in fact, actually anywhere in the world, to get into the digital marketing. This is the best time, because I do remember 5 years back, there was not much salaries, not much value of the digital marketers. But now,
before COVID.
Yes, before COVID.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but now every single company needs not just one, but many digital marketers in the different areas, unless they are selling in a very, in fact, even if they are selling it in offline stores, then also they need
to build a brand.
Right, to build a brand. And Gen Z is going to be the biggest buyer of any brand. Think of it like that. Gen Z is now coming out of the colleges. They started earning, like they are at early stage of their earning. They're already spending most on online. They are buying most of the time online.
They are the people who are active
most of the time. And the beautiful thing is, actually, a couple of years back, Gen Z was not a target audience for the brands because they don't have a buying power. But now, because they are, because the time is passed, and now the Gen Z is one actually buying most online.
They have the power.
They have the power to buy, because they are now getting the jobs. This time, this is how
and they are getting influence as well, from a lot of people.
Exactly.
Influencers.
Exactly.
So they tend to have that buying power, and then now they're starting to buy.
Yeah.
So let's say they've started this learning digital marketing, and they are still, facing difficulty in getting internships and all. And I think there is a tendency that, whenever you're trying to apply for internship, you want to get paid. But what I feel is you don't need to get paid for internship, because you are there to learn, right?
Apart from internship, one more interesting thing is now the freelancing. But again, the question was, initial question was how they learn the things. So there are so many online courses out there on YouTube, free of course. Then many other platforms like Udemy or Coursera, edX. There are so many such platforms out there. Free education is there, or if not free, then almost free. So if you are starting with any one skill, maybe SEO, for example, go create your accounts on the gigs platform, Fiverr, Upwork, these platforms. Start getting a very small projects. Maybe start selling your services at a very minimal prices. Two things gonna happen here. Now again, you can get paid for something, and the second important thing, because now you have a real project in hand, you know what exactly you need to learn. You don't have to apply your own brain. What exactly I'm gonna learn or not, because now there are the people who are actually giving a very clear job description. This is what I want. Suppose someone wants to increase, backlinks, for example. Now right. This is a new word for me. Backlinks. What is this? Let's go on the Google and check about that. And your best friend ChatGPT is there. Right. Just ask. Exactly.
AI tool is there.
Right. 5 years, 10 years back, if you have to learn a new skill, it was actually a very difficult thing, and then you have to find a right mentor for that. But now,
with the AI tool, it is.
With the AI tools, with the content available on the YouTube, with the so many free resources, and I think the education or the learning is getting even better every day.
At the same time, what I feel is, with a lot of resources, the learning curve is getting declined day by day, because people, basically, I'm not trying to offend any Gen Z here, but you need to get offended here, because the focus is there is no focus. Right. People keep scrolling all the short form content, and because I met a lot of people who can even watch 1 to 2 hour video at one time, at one go, and they want to master digital marketing in just 1 to 2 months.
Right.
So in that case, what do you suggest? Do they need a mentor or a separate class or something, or at least start learning digital marketing online and then start implementing in the website or something?
So, Vikrant, how I'll see that? Yes, you are absolutely right. This vertical video system, that is where the scroll of the things, it surely have declined the attention span. Surely have done that, which actually came with so many benefits as well. I see that, because most of the time, many times it happened with me. I'm scrolling the reels myself in my free time, and I landed on a very, very interesting video. it's in the 30 seconds, it's giving me the glimpse
value,
of,
yeah.
it's just giving me the glimpse, not a lot of value, but actually it's giving me a lot of, it's giving me a glimpse of one single thing. Then I'll get, okay, this, I don't know about that. Then I'll go back on YouTube or on ChatGPT or Google.
Yeah.
I'll search about that. Now it actually connect back to
Yeah.
the long form content or
content, yeah.
something. But alongside, yes, to learning the things, it's okay to spend less time on or not spending a lot of time on the long form videos. It's okay, but as long as you know the direction,
Yeah.
learning understanding the direction is very important. Now this could be done in many ways.
Yeah.
As you said, does it require a mentor? Yes, it could. And that's why not every single person is learning from the YouTube,
Yeah.
but there are people who actually go buy the Udemy courses,
yeah.
Coursera courses. Now these are very small courses, but these are designed
in a way
keeping, there are, the designer of these courses also are very much aware about the attention span of this
the
generation.
video is quite short, no, like 1 to 2 minute video.
2 minutes, 5 minute video max.
Yeah.
And then comes with some assignment
Exercise,
or
yeah.
some exercise with it. I think it's the right way of doing it, because when you go on YouTube and find something content, you're not very sure that it's the right direction or not.
Yeah.
And when you go on the courses, especially Coursera is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Till today, I go and buy the courses. Usually, most of the things are free over there as well. I take the courses and learn a lot of things, and then I'll have a good understanding of one topic.
Yeah.
Then next level is obviously to learn and read more about it. That's very important, because all of these courses actually give you the gist of the thing. It actually not going to make you
expert or something.
Expert of something.
But you'll also get a certificate which you can use on your LinkedIn to
exactly. Exactly.
I mean, and then if you are creating portfolio, you can add there and then get more exposure.
Again, one very interesting thing. Back in days, if you want to get a degree or a certificate from a universities like Harvard or Oxford, it was kind of a dream.
Difficult.
Now go on edX, right? Find the courses from the Harvard or IIT, IIM, ISB, and take those courses. Right? Obviously, you have to invest your time at least. Take those courses. And if you want to take the certificates, invest a fragment of what you're supposed to actually, what these courses worth, a fragment of it. And now you have a degree, or not degree, but at least a certificate from IIT, from ISB. Which used to
brings a great credibility, I mean, for beginner as well. And
exactly. And most important thing, now I can say a same level of knowledge you're going to get when you are having a physical classes in these type of institutions, but at least you're getting taught by the same professors which are actually going on these prestigious universities.
Same techniques, same strategies.
Exactly.
Everything is
so again, you have resources now. You need to decide how much time you can invest
in that.
Right. So sitting at the comfort of your couch, you surely can learn a lot of things which back in days was not possible.
Sorry to interrupting you, but if you are someone who is serious about digital marketing and it seems that you are serious, that's how you are watching this podcast till now and you are in the middle. But I have something very important for you, a big and quick announcement that I have created a private community for people like you who are serious about digital marketing in 2025. We have people from multiple countries, India, UK and other countries as well, in that community helping each other, building network, helping each other in terms of creating CVs, getting jobs, as well as getting the right tools which is working in digital marketing this year. So if you are serious and want to qualify for that community, the link of that group is in the description. Go ahead and join, and I will see you in that community to help you and to become a superstar in marketing. So this is it from my side, but for now, let's get back to the podcast again. If I want to, let's say, kind of transition myself from the Indian market to the UK market, especially, since you are into the corporate for many years, how I can evolve in the corporate market?
Right. So here if we are focusing more on the job side of it, and you already get an opportunity in any way, you are already here doing graduation, and then you'll get into the job. or you'll get an sponsorship from a company if you are back in India already and you are coming here. So quite few important things. Again, I already covered this thing. I already talked about learning the culture. That's very important because now you are going in the company. You are in a professional environment, and there you the very important thing here, you are actually have to, you want or not, you have to interact with the people from all the regions of the different countries, because here in UK it's not just you are going to interact with or work with the whites or the Britishers. You get to work with coming from multicultural, multicultural, coming from the China, India, many different countries, even many Europeans you will see here. So you need to be flexible. That's very important.
Opening up yourself in terms of communication as well.
Exactly. You need to work on your communication, work on being flexible. You need to keep your, if you have some hard opinion on something, you have to, smooth it down. Especially when it comes to the culture. That's very important thing. And I have seen people like they come with a very, very strong grip. Okay, this is how I have been living in India. This is how I'm going to do that. Now, as you land here or as you start working, if you are already here, if you guys are already here, you know that every single thing that back home in India get done by house help or domestic help. Now here you have to do all these
by yourself.
Every single thing. Even the same thing gonna happen in the offices as well. The one beautiful thing here is work-life balance is there. Yes, it is here, and even everyone respect that. After 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. depending on whatever the time you have in the office. Thereafter, nobody gonna bother you. That's a plus thing. But alongside, it comes with one thing which I feel somehow it's lacking in India. The professionals in India. Here again, I'm not talking about in general. I'm talking in general, not actually specifying for any specific region of India.
Industry.
But in India, the commitment sometimes we don't we are actually not much committed back there in India when we are saying, all right, this thing can be done and by the end of the day, and it's not get done, we feel quite okay over there. It's okay, we will do it tomorrow, it's all right, doesn't make any difference. But here, if you're committing anything, take your time. Take your time. Nobody's bounding you for that. But if you're committing something, you need to stick with that. That's actually apply everywhere, although, but it's very important thing. And we coming back from the India, actually we lack somewhere. Same thing applies. That same level of commitment applies to the clients as well. If you are working directly with the clients, you will get an opportunity. Even if you are in the marketing, you'll get an opportunity to directly communicate with the clients of that company you are working for. Then you need to show a very, very high level of professionalism there, plus commitment.
Getting things done.
That's the
mindset,
and the quality. It's not that, okay, I have to get the things done. I'll compromise on the quality. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. How I'll see this country, the people in this country or the people working around this country, they'll always give you a first chance. And that means they believe in you. And if you are not fulfilling that, that time, next time you're not going to get chances.
So it's like outperforming when you get the first chance, so that you're able to.
I won't say outperform, but actually perform. At least perform.
At least meet the expectations.
Companies in India or the professionals in India, they, especially to the freshers, they give the leverage. If you are fresher, if you are just starting it up, they give the leverage. All right, this person is just learning. It's okay if he's not that committed. Then that's not going to happen here. And the reason here is, that's the reason for that. Kids here started working at very early stage. We don't back in India. They are working in the different industries, different sectors, even doing, taking up the jobs which don't prefer to take back home, but they are doing everything at very small, very early age. Very early age.
So they have that mentality and that
habit. From the very early age, they know, all right, I'm going to the office. This is what I have to deliver. I'm committed to that. After that, I'm free. And that's actually how I see the reason that 9 hours you are at the work, you are into the work.
Yeah.
You are not taking so many long breaks. You
yeah.
are not, doing gossips.
Yeah.
You are actually into the work. Afterwards, do whatever you like to do.
So, what about sponsorship? Let's say if I want to start my own company, if anyone who is watching this video, they want to start something of their own, they have some ideas, they have a good experience in any field, let's say marketing or digital marketing, or for that sake, any other field. How you will start your company since you have the expertise in that field? You've been working with a lot of incubators, and then you have also mentored a lot of startups.
Yes.
What do you say for the steps they need to follow in order to start their own company?
Right. Again, if you, as an immigrant, you can't come and start any business here. That's the one limitation. That's the limitation. You can't say, okay, I now have learned digital marketing. Let's start a digital marketing agency. That's not going to happen that easily. So you have to make your plan. All right, in the digital marketing, what product you could build or what innovation you can bring in. That's the important thing. If you come up with some idea or some product idea, even if it's service idea, but it's actually bringing in some kind of innovation, then there are various way of doing it. One, the easier, I won't say easiest, but the best way is to get the innovator founder visa. That's a brilliant visa for someone already have a very good exposure in tech, especially, and they are coming with some brilliant idea around the innovation. That should be an innovative idea. It's not like, okay, I know software engineering or I know digital marketing. Let's start the agency. Not gonna work. You're not gonna get the visa on that. You must have a product or the service which is innovative in nature. That's one thing you could do. Or alternatively, you can try getting a self-sponsor visa, which is again a very lucrative way of starting your business. Getting the visa first thing, obviously, but that again comes with a lot of pros and cons of its own, and home office challenges and all. Again, depending on from which line, which segment you are coming from, and how much you can invest. Then based on that you can decide. But I think, and for the immigrant, there are these two ways of getting it. If unless you are not coming on an investor visa, which is again a very different thing, which we are not covering right now. So either you can try for the innovator founder or self-sponsor visa. So the two visas we talked about, the innovator founder visa or self-sponsor. These are the two ways. Now again, the next part is away. Register your company at HMRC, which is quite easy. Get the bank account, which is again. You may not get a bank account very easily, the high street banks account very easily, but there are so many companies like Tide or Wise. You will get the accounts from them, and then you can start actually operations. If you need office space, then you can find any incubator center. There are so many incubator center. I myself have an office in the incubator center till today, and which not gonna help just in office space, but also you'll get a chance to network with so many like-minded people. And if you want to start a business or get into the job, one very important thing, meet the people. There are so many. Now you have so many groups on the Facebook. You have an app, meetup.com, like so many other apps as well, like meetup.com. Eventbrite. Right, Eventbrite. There are so many such other sites. Plus, build a connection on the LinkedIn, professional connections on them, and try to get into the touch. Talk with these people, and you will get a lot of references. This is how actually I get into the business, and how I get in touch with so many different companies. I just keep messaging them. You're obviously not. You're gonna get ignored hundreds of times. But one message one message can change everything. And actually, this happened with me back in 2017 when actually I started my second startup. This happened with me. I'll keep on messaging the people, and one day I'll get an invite for an online meeting from a guy who eventually become my co-founder. So this is, you have to keep in touch with the people. So I think networking, reaching out to people, and then making sure that you are in the market. You are showing yourself Exactly.
The success rate is quite less, but yeah, I mean, that's how you're able to do everything in marketing and digital marketing.
Right. So success rate is less for those who are not persistent.
Yeah.
So you keep trying, keep getting in touch,
Yeah.
and this is how we met.
Yep. It's
Right.
real story, guys.
One day I'll send the message
Yeah.
to Vikrant seeing his podcast.
Yeah.
I'll get inspired. I'll say, all right, Vikrant, let's meet. And here we are doing a podcast
Yeah.
today.
So that's like a real example of both of us how we met and how you can network with other people, especially if you're in the UK. And I think in every county they have the incubator.
Incubators, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Now I'm in Speltron
Yeah.
in the Surrey, so I also was not aware of it.
Yeah.
Then from net in the LinkedIn, I saw one post and I just started looking into it. And now from the last many years, I have an office in this.
So the
Incubators.
important, you get into touch. What about the skills? So let's say not the digital marketing or marketing skills. Since you are into the field from last many years, the life skill, which you feel about learning, which are the skills you feel which is very important, very necessary for a marketer to inculcate and then, I mean, install those habits in the real life and then.
Right. So in general, it's irrespective of which field you are coming from, whether you are from the tech, from the marketing, or from any other field. How I myself gained the skills to be an entrepreneur or to running a company here in UK, and even after having a good exits from the previous startups, you need to have a mindset of a child, a student. You have to keep learning every day. Learn a bit, bits and bits and bits. Eventually, it's gonna be a huge thing. So learn something small. Every day. Read as much you could. As much you can. And don't just read and leave the things aside. But how I'll do it, I'll read the book or anything, not just the book, even if I'm reading the book or I'm watching any podcast or I'll find something interesting and took a course around it and learned about that. One thing I always do, I'll make a summary of it in my own handwriting. With the excess of laptops, with the excess of tablets, we actually forget how to write. Right, when you write something with your own hands, you'll build a connection with that. And when you are deep into that thing, you actually understand the thing even better because now you actually started writing the thing out. And if you could teach that thing to someone else, and when you are actually teaching something that you have recently acquired, the skill or recently learned, then you will feel like you will see that you actually get an understanding of that particular topic even better. And as I'm saying, it applies on all the things. So learn as read, learn everything, a small bit of the things every single day. Read as much you can and write down what you have learned. I mean, creating a mind map kind of thing. If you start creating a note, you're able to create and relate with those stuff in your own ways. Exactly. And I can totally agree with you. When you start teaching, that's the best method of learning. Right. And so what another thing I'll do, now there are so many apps for making a mind map, like as you said. In fact, mind map is again itself is an app. I use it quite often. But at the same time, I'll make my mind map on the whiteboards as well, which actually start giving me the understanding of many things at once. So just write down a summary of it or just a one word and start connecting the things around it. For example, if you are making a marketing campaign, what all the things you require. Put down all those things in your one chart. Even if if not the whiteboard, just the paper. Right? Or if you have a glass or anything you have, just write it down in just one word. Start connecting the things. All right, I have to and go backwards. In the reverse direction. This is my goal. Okay. This is something or connected with the learning as well. If you have learned something new, right? What actually you have learned and now start coming backwards. Same applies when you are running a campaign or you are designing a campaign. What's your goal? Start writing it back. All right, I need 10,000 followers, or I need to sell 100 books, or I need to sell 10 cars, whatever it is. I think you start connecting the dots, when you have a map and then
when you are part of that learning as well.
Exactly.
So,
And then what another thing gonna happen with this? Now you'll know, all right, to do this or to achieve this or to get this skill, these are the 10 things I require. 5 things I already have.
yeah.
What about these another 5 things? Now you actually have a better clarity.
Yeah.
Now once you have a clarity, either you'll learn yourself or if you can bring in the other people to help you, if you're learning, then maybe in the form of YouTube video, for example, or any course or anything like that, then you actually get to the point where you want to reach, and when you are coming backward, you know exactly what exactly you need and what are the fillers you require for that, and that's how you can learn anything.
Yeah. So an important question, you said about books, and which I always into. I mean, I always kind of inclined toward books, and I think that helped me a lot as a person also to grow. So, what are a couple of books? Let's say top 5 books, or let's just say top 2 books you will recommend, to people who are just starting, or let's say even if they're into marketing for many years, but if they want to enhance their skill or something.
Yeah. So one book I myself have read a couple of times, and I always refer that to that book, Atomic Habits.
Yeah,
that's very important.
James Clear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think you guys, if you meet any person who are actually at a good level in their career, they must have read that book. Yeah. They must have read that book in the past, Atomic Habits. That's the one book. And another book I myself read quite often, and to my kid as well, I started giving to him. It's actually not a business book, but people see it as a religious book. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Though people see it as a religious book, but I'll see it actually as a very, very good life lessons and in business lessons as well.
I think everything, sums up.
Everything clubbed up in the form of anecdotes and the references, the way they have given. And now it's available in the English versions as well. Yeah. So refer to these 2 books. And I think apart from that, though you should keep trying the new books, but if you are reading these 2 books, you at least have a very wider level of clarity. Clarity of the things, how you need to proceed in life.
All the studies is there, I mean, I am a huge fan of those. I mean, Bhagavad Gita, again, we all know. Yeah. One last question, which I ask literally everywhere in all the podcasts, is that what kind of impact you want to make with your business and with your entire, things and all the initiative which you're doing?
Right. So my current business it's around creator economy, right? Now, couple of years back, leave a couple of months back, I myself was camera shy. Yeah. Okay, now I'm sitting in this podcast. I myself creates a lot of videos around the business, around the marketing. I create a lot of videos on my YouTube channel as well. Now, what I'm trying to do in Showshul, which is in creator-led platform, creator-led shopping platform, I'm creating a parallel economy there, especially for the creators, for the youths as well. Yeah. So the impact, when I'm saying the bigger picture, if I talk about, so I'm building an infrastructure for the next generation. Yeah. This infrastructure is not just for the commercial side of it, but the education side of it as well. The noise is everywhere now. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, the noise is everywhere. So with the help of Showshul, we have something called a Showshul Academy, where we create a lot of content, educational content for the youths, especially who wants to get into the marketing, who wants to get into content creation, who wants to get into becoming an influencer of any particular area one day. So we are building a lot of generating a lot of content, or building a very specialized niche content, free of cost. And that what I'm doing only and only because I want to give something back to the community from where actually I got a lot. So bigger picture, I want to build an infrastructure for the next generation to come.
Yeah. And where they can get that social academy, if someone want to learn, if someone want to become influencer, let's say, how they can sign up and how they can start.
We'll give the link in this podcast. Yeah. So it's showshul.com. Yeah. But the proper link will give that.
The link will be in the description. And how these people can connect to you on LinkedIn as well as Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
The ID will be there again in the description. Go and connect with him. You're able to learn a lot about marketing, branding on his YouTube channel. I would recommend that you watch a couple of videos which I watched recently about branding and building an entire marketing campaign for 2025. A masterclass, and especially if you're just starting into marketing, learn and then start implementing. So this is it for us from our side, guys. I hope you like this conversation. If you want to learn more about marketing and digital marketing, trying to grow in the UK market as well, do connect with us and we'll see you in the next podcast. Till then, take care and have a great one.